We're back here messing around with this stupid C10 again, and left off mess with the roof, so I was just kind of sitting here pondering on what exactly to do, and I seen this door skin that we had actually set on here before and hammered and dollied and welded it, and then I was just kind of putting it back on there to see. We adjusted this door before we put this on, so this was, I believe, still we built this still to this panel, even though this changed a little bit, so we had to kind of change this, but all this here still stays the same. Basically, that all there still stays the same. I just need to bring this up and weld it, and then it was going to hold this a little bit better, and I can adjust this up, hopefully with these here. Basically that weld back there should help hold that up, and whenever I weld up there, I just have to kind of put something in there to keep it up, but I think that's okay. I can go ahead and mark this out 1/4 of an inch or so and cut this skin, because our door is overlapping now a little bit there, so kind of get that door to where it'll close and then all the way, and then I can kind of line the two doors up in and out. But it looks like we got a pretty decent line. Once that front door closes, it should pull it in and technically bring that up just a hair. We could do that with the hinges or the strikers, or the striker. Just depends on what we decide to do and what would be the easiest. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that, try to make some forward progress on this, and still just kind of thinking about that roof. So really, if I can get the door skins, getting them on to where I can remove them fairly easy and finish out inside the door, that'll be a huge plus. So I'm gonna keep trucking away on this. Alright, so we ended up getting that inner roof skin cut out for our C10. Basically what I wanted was this piece like in here and this corner. I don't have to try to make this corner, but then I don't know how flat it is this way. I know that the front of it started to really like dive in to the windshield, so I didn't want to take that. So we weren't wanting to take that. I kind of did make a cut here, but I could weld that. I just definitely wanted this piece here. My goal is to separate this, but I couldn't do it in the truck because I saw the roof skin on, and that basically goes right welds in here. So I have to pull the roof skin off to be able to weld that, because it comes down and then back up. And there's no good way to get to that. So my only thought was with taking this whole headliner, that after a few measurements, maybe it would come to here. I could go get another headliner, or we'll just end up making it, and then I'll probably end up making the pieces that go here that rolls from this inner pinch weld here up to somewhere in here. Not really exactly sure where my cut would be, but I want to stay on this side of our factory bead roll, this step right here. That way I've got enough surface that's flat that I can weld, grind, and then do our filler work and not try to mess with that step. I just kind of sand that down, clean it up, and actually pretty surprising that cab had been sandblasted and pretty rusty, but this all looks really nice metal. Full surface rusted through here, but I'm actually kind of surprised how rusty that old cab was, being sandblasted out in the weather. So at this point I can just sand it, rust treat it, and then it'll stop it from rusting, and then probably go back to the blaster and get touched up. So it's a plan. I'm going to try to separate those and maybe just get that thing sitting in there, and then, I don't know, try to form some sort of a plan to push us down the road. So I stuck that headliner back in there. Something I did not count on is that it tapers down towards the windshield. I know these roofs kind of look like they're leaned a little bit, but I don't know if that's the metal or just this step here. And it kind of tapers down to the windshield, but I didn't realize the headliner did that. And I know that because if you look at the distance from here to there, you can see that it's got a little bit of a crown and actually wider here and narrows, tapers down. So that is something that I did not expect or really even give any thought, to be honest with you. I was hoping that we could take 2 or 3 of these headliners, and if you had to order, well, we'll order one aftermarket, and build us an inner headliner. So, and I build an inner piece inside there, but I don't really know. I'm gonna call it a night. It's like 5:30 the day after Thanksgiving, Friday, Black Friday. So I'm gonna call it done here and probably tackle this thing in the morning. We cut the headliner roof piece out of the extra cab we have out back, our knee auger. So I was kind of just letting that roll through my head for a little bit. So I got my heater on and my fan on because it's about 35 degrees out, and we just got here a few minutes ago, so hopefully it'll warm up in here. Had to go up and patch my wall. We've got this big piece of plastic in here separating the shop so that my grinding dust and Bondo dust and stuff doesn't go and get on that side where he's got most of his mechanic side. The other day I made this template here to kind of fit down inside there, and then we got this one here, but I need to redo this one and add our wings for up here and right here. But now that I got this kind of sitting down there where I think it would be, I'm going to take this here, make a couple notes, and then trace this onto a new piece of paper and then make this piece in here. I'll probably make this all one piece to about here, and then probably from about here down, and then do this so I don't have to waste a great big chunk of metal, because we're going to have to kind of dogleg that out down there. So that's the plan. Let's see if we can't get something mocked up and then out of paper, and then we'll transfer it over to steel. That in there, basically clecoed in for now. Drew our line up here for a bead roll, add some rigidity to this and a little style. We went ahead and drilled a small hole down here for our power wires for our electric windows. We're going to decide, we'll probably plug weld these in and then plug weld this panel in, because we don't need to get into this pillar. This one will do the same. I made it in 2 pieces just because I could weld that, and then I'll have to add a little piece up here. We're kind of going to wait and see where our headliner metal comes. So the thing I'm thinking about making these, coming back in here, stepping this in on a bead roller, about 1/8 of an inch or so, 1/16 of an inch, however deep we can get, and then basically cutting about a 1/2 inch inside this roll here, making this, cutting that piece out, making a door and screwing it in, top and bottom, to make it where we can get inside that pillar to add our bolts for our billet piece of trim. Basically, factory had like a stainless or aluminum piece here. He's going to end up doing that for replicating that piece out of a billet aluminum, and then having something up here to make that match. So still in the air on that, so I'll probably wait on that top half of that piece before we fully weld it in. I still got to make that piece there. I just need to double check to make sure my template that I made still fits, which it should. I just don't remember exactly when I made that. And then do this piece, this upper piece for that upper side there. So that's probably what I'm going to work on now, and then I'm going to get out of here. So I'm going to see if I can't knock that out real quick and see if we can't make it look kind of cool before the guy gets here tomorrow.